Absolutely.
Well, you already got your computer.
I think I've got this set up.
This is set up.
Yeah.
You're set up here.
Even though when I'm talking, like this is moving, but I can't hear it in the headphones. Is that how it's supposed to be?
You have to switch these.
In the output. Okay.
You have to put it to here. So then now you can hear yourself.
Yeah, there we go.
And then change this.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it's too loud for you, you can turn this down
and
up.
Yep.
And this can actually get stupid loud.
Okay.
Like it's almost ridiculous. Like you can blow your ears out.
Okay. I don't want to do that.
No. Yeah, you'll.
Okay.
That's on. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you're good here.
I've got the stream going. I've just got it on please stand by. But as far as the camera went, I told Wayne, I was like, I have no idea.
I know how to set that thing up.
Okay.
That's not hard for me. If you want to come up and watch me do it, I can do it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because I know how to set this.
And then there's a brand. I don't know if you need this, the extension cord.
You will want it.
It's brand
because we're going
new.
to run it down down here.
Okay.
So we'll bring that up with us, and we can just drop it down.
Okay.
Off the top. So if you'll follow me, I've got.
Let me unwrap this stuff real quick because it's brand new. He just bought it yesterday.
For this.
Yeah.
This is the hardest place to do camera for.
Is it?
Because we're so far away from each other.
Yeah.
So you have to have a camera guy that knows what he's doing up there.
Right.
You don't have the announcer right next to you.
Correct. Okay, let's go.
Do you have you got your scoreboard all set too?
I do. Yep.
Okay, good. Want to make sure you have your scoreboard set?
Yep. I have all that. Okay, I think we're good. Okay.
Okay. Got our camera bag, got our tripod.
Yep, I've even got the reeds up, so
That's good.
there's no videos tonight. So.
spot on June, I said it's got to be him.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm. Come on in. You're fine. Come on in. This is not hard. It's just weird for most people.
The first time doing it for him too.
Oh yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. The first time I did, I was nervous to do it, but I've done it enough. I know what to do. Okay. Where's our long HDMI cord?
It's right over in here.
We're gonna need that big guy.
This thing here.
Yeah, that big sucker.
That's in case we get rain tonight.
Which I don't think we will.
Right.
I doubt we do.
Dwayne had requested. He said,
Yes.
grab a garbage bag just in case.
Okay. This is a little bit different
Okay.
than what we might be used to. It's all new to him.
Like I
Move
was
that
telling
over.
Richard,
Put that in that
graduated from
side.
Western in '92 with a degree in broadcasting, but
Totally different.
34 years ago.
Yeah. It's
There
a
was
big
no
difference.
streaming.
Didn't
There was
have
no
that.
internet.
Didn't have any of that.
Right.
It was all radio.
All radio.
Yes, Larry Derry.
That's actually really fun. Chris Frankhauser does that. He did the radio for years.
Chris and Wyatt both.
I didn't know why I did radio.
Yeah, but Wyatt is program director for the Bowl.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
over in
You wanna-
Burlington. You want me to go up?
Yeah. Why don't you take this cord and go up?
Yep.
And then you can hook up
Drop
to the
it
camera and drop it down.
Yep.
Okay. Just make sure you have this plugged in, because if this isn't plugged in, the computer doesn't understand.
Right.
It can't understand the broadcast.
Yep.
And you won't have camera.
Which is pretty important.
You
when it
want
comes to
camera
broadcast.
on this.
Yes.
Check, check. Yep. Very good. You can hear yourself.
Good. I couldn't before, so that's
I fixed that.
yeah, awesome. Well, it was just when I was doing this, I was like, okay, do I put it here? Do I put it here? And then I put it there, and I was like, okay, it must go over there. But
You can.
I had
There's a lot of ways you can do this.
Yeah.
It's really weird on these little ones
right,
because of how it works, but
right. We only have one headset tonight.
Yeah, you don't have
Dwayne
a
took
color.
the other one, so.
you don't have a color.
But when Tanner comes up afterwards for the interview, we're gonna have. Go ahead.
Not yet. I'm helping TSSR right now. I'm gonna be over in a minute. Not yet. No, I'm not. Right now. Over in the TSSR booth. Okay. Okay. All right. Drop it through the hole in the fence. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if somebody steps out from there, we don't want to trip them. So maybe we should come back over here where the extension cord is.
Back where our extension cord's laying.
Yeah. That way the only person that could be tripped would be me. So.
You yourself and everyone
Correct.
else. Okay, drop that down. Just keep pulling on it. Let the door shut, and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Hold it still. No, it's okay.
Okay.
Just like that. This is really unfun to see right now.
Yes. Well, I originally had set up over here, and I was like, I can't see the scoreboard.
Oh yeah, you like to be able to
So
see
I
scoreboard.
slid it over, and I'm like, okay.
Okay. Where is our properties? I want to do the properties on this because I want to know. He doesn't have what all I need. Trust me, I know what I'm doing with OBS.
I trust you.
I'm pretty good at OBS. Because I work OBS all the time, so I'm good. Why is our... I can't... Where's our other controls?
What you looking for?
The sources. Where do the sources aren't showing up?
I put the sources down.
Oh, those are like way down there.
Yeah, I put them down at the. There you go.
Oh, man.
Source.
That's a
No,
scene.
that's scenes. Yeah, sources I did put.
You moved them.
I moved them. Yep.
Yeah, they're kind of different. OBS is not bad. It's just it's
Right.
weird properties. Okay. There it is. Okay, now you got camera.
Okay.
We got camera now. Oof, I can't see anything when you're looking that way.
I want to speak to whoever designed Macomb's field.
Right.
It's
Right.
backwards.
Right.
It should be on that side.
Yeah, why is the home team looking into the sun at
Yep.
7 o'clock?
Yep.
It is
The
ridiculous.
home side should be that side.
Yep.
The press box should be over there. I think they did it because of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, make more room over here.
Right.
I understand
And
that.
didn't they have a bunch of pine trees over there previously too?
I think they did. You know
Yeah.
what I would have done? I would have taken that baseball field out, stuck this over there, and put the baseball field over here.
Just move everything
Yeah,
down.
just design it just a little differently.
Oh, and we redid our end zones twice actually. This got redone once with turf. Then the end zones weren't the right color, so we ripped those up, put new end zones in.
So obviously I'm from the north a little bit, up by the Quad Cities. I go to Sherrard. All
Okay.
my kids do.
Okay.
It's all grass up there. This is the first time I've seen
Turf.
Macomb's
Yeah, that's
actual
great.
field, you know, and it's
This was all
very
flooded.
pretty.
It was, yeah.
This
when
was
it
all
rained the other
flooded.
day.
Yeah. It's a very pretty turf field.
All right.
I
so
mean, outside of
That's
on,
why they ripped out the pine trees, because all the pine needles
yeah, kept getting into
kept
turf.
into
Yep.
turf. Yep.
No, that is a very pretty field.
it is. I like.
I'm a natural grass fan because I hated playing on turf as a high school student, but
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, I put it in studio mode so I could see stuff, but I now have it out of studio. Studio mode just makes it to where you have a preview and a non-preview, so it's weird.
Yeah, I
To
just
work
like
with.
the one screen.
One screen, you can work it
At
easily.
6:50, I'll probably do the intro video.
are we live already?
Camera's not on. He's just on
Cameras,
standby.
I am streaming, but I just put it on.
Okay, so put it on standby. All right, good deal.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go hook up and I'll be next to you.
Yeah, figured.
So,
Yeah,
you
You've
know
been
me
doing
well
Macomb
enough.
stuff, yeah.
You know me well enough.
The wife is going to be up there with us.
I don't care.
I didn't think you'd care.
Oh, I just got your message. Yes, I'm here at Macomb High School.
I seen you standing up here earlier, and I said, I think that's Todd. I'd never met you before.
Right.
But obviously I was watching equipment, and I'm like, well, I don't see anything for Dwayne set up yet.
Yeah.
So I was kind of waiting, and then I spotted you with the young man, and I said,
I felt so bad this morning. I was just texting Dwayne. I was like, question
Yeah.
this, and he was like, hey, just breathe.
yep. He messaged me. He said, can you do me a huge favor? Because I wasn't on schedule at all this year for him. And I own my own broadcast company.
Okay.
He said, I got a new guy in Macomb. He said, I really need somebody down there. And he didn't have a cameraman. And he said, I'd go myself, but I'm on my way to Doe Run.
Yeah, he was doing.
I said, Dwayne, you know I'll help you. I'll run down there and
I appreciate it.
jump on camera and be there if he needs me.
Yeah. I was just, I was telling Dwayne this morning. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
Technology has passed me by. I can do the basics, but I'm a guy that I learned by doing.
Yep, absolutely. I taught myself. Everything that I know, I taught myself, so I totally understand it.
So, like, next week, when we're back here for LVC, I'm sure Rich will be here, but if he's not, at least I'm like, okay, I need this cord, and at least now I have an idea.
So at the camera,
Mm-hmm.
there's another gray cord in the camera bag.
Yep.
That one will plug into the camera, and there's a little black piece that brings the two cables together.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that's what I did up there, so you know that when you get up there next week, if you have to do it yourself.
Okay.
And I'm always available. If you need me,
Okay.
if you're here early and you can't remember setup and you can't find him, just shoot me a message. It's an hour drive for me, but
Okay.
I'm off work at 4 o'clock. I can get here by 5:30. So.
Well, again, I appreciate that. I'm off work at 3:30, so
Yeah.
I came right over here.
I work a mile in. So it was a trip for me to get down here, but
Yeah, I appreciate
I,
it more. That's
Dwayne is one of my best friends, so anytime he
Okay.
calls me, he says, he needs my help, I'm there. That's why he don't put me on a schedule, because then he ties me down,
right.
and he can't call me for
So you're
stuff
like
this.
you're like the
I'm-
troubleshooter.
I'm one
You're
of
the
many
one-
that he's
yes,
got, yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
And I'm a cameraman, I own 2 companies.
Okay.
I own a racing business that I stream, it's all streaming related, and then I also own a sports broadcast, or can't really call it broadcast, it'd be more photography, videography.
Okay.
That is for Sherrard High School. So there's some Fridays that he knows I'm unavailable. Their home games, don't even ask, because next week I'm off limits, but they play tomorrow at Newman, so
Okay. Starting with a big one early, huh?
and Newman's gonna throttle us. So we're a young team, new coach. Graduating class is of 49. There's only 13 senior boys,
Wow, that's a
and
lot. Of
6 of them are on the football team. The rest of them are all underclassmen. So it's a young team. Coach Weigel came down out of Davenport
Okay.
and took over this year. So we'll see. It's
Way back in the day, I used to be a teacher, high school teacher, last school I taught at was Kingston.
Yeah.
And I was there for 7 years. But my first year there, uh, Sam Graves was there.
Okay.
Coach at
Yeah.
Rockridge.
Yep.
Yeah. So he left.
Rockridge has a tough schedule ahead of them.
Yeah.
Ranked number 7 in the state to start the season.
Yeah.
I think it's a little low in my opinion. They still have Colin. I don't know how the state said, oh, we're gonna put them down that far.
Yeah.
You got a D1 college quarterback on your team.
The
It's only
nice thing,
Western, but you know.
the nice thing about the expanded playoffs though is that Rockridge can say, hey, we're gonna schedule a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna play really good teams now.
Yeah. Yeah, they can force the hand a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? They can go out there and play the toughest teams in the state. And,
Did you see who Lena Winslow is playing tonight?
Who?
Bennett
Who?
Academy.
oh, are they?
From Lyle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They
Guys,
said,
talk
let's,
about a tough one. They
Yeah.
want to take some shots.
yes, they are.
Leewin played it smart though. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Once they expand into playoffs, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
You
You're
go
gonna,
out there,
you're gonna make it at 5 and 4.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a team like Leewin is going to go out and win the state. I mean,
Correct.
they're going
Yeah.
to throttle
Even at
everybody
5 and
in
4
1A,
because
yeah.
their 4 losses are Bennett Academy and
Right.
you know, when they get
Yeah.
up against the 1A schools, be a little bit more dominant for them. Yep.
A little bit. Stockton might be their only
Right.
real threat.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat them last year in the opener, and then Leewin got them in the
semis.
playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good game. I told everybody going into state, the state championship was played in the semifinals.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was the same way in 8-man. The 8-man championship game was played in the semifinals last year. Milledgeville and Amboy. You know, Milledgeville beat them at the beginning of the season. They met each other in the semifinals, and Amboy came out on top.
Yeah.
Now they're going on 4 for this year, but
Yeah.
8-man's looking strong too.
Yeah. We did just get a message though that they're not going to be able to do
I seen that.
West Prairie.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That I wonder what's going on over there. It can't be internet because then they'd just be recording. So it's got to be location issues.
Oh, she's, I missed all kinds of messages. There's Rich.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I was gonna call you and I'm like, I'm not his friend. It won't let me.
And then there you are, yeah.
Yep. So I just went on your Facebook and stalked until I found a picture of you,
Yep.
and then I matched him. I said, "That's him. That is Todd." in the
That's
booth."
me. You got it.
I'm gonna go introduce myself. And
Yep. Well, I just accepted you, so now
Awesome.
the phone will
It'll
beep.
ding,
when
yeah.
Yep.
I wish I would have. I should have made the meeting. The original meeting I would have made, and then he changed it on me, and there was no way I could get down here. So
Yeah, he did the same thing. We were supposed to meet Tuesday, and then he switched it to Wednesday,
yeah.
or
Yep.
Monday to Tuesday, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I told him. I was like, because I was like, who's on the call tonight? He said Todd, and I'm like, he said it's a new guy. You don't know. Just go down there and do your best to try and find me. He didn't give me no description, nothing.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
a
it's the
good
same thing he did with me. He sent me a text. I got a guy who knows what he's doing. His name is Aaron.
Yep.
Good luck. Yep. So. Okay.
I got another couple minutes before I have to be on.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to be up there until the national anthem and the band.
Really.
I don't even have to be up there.
Who are you on
Uh-oh,
for?
Justice.
Okay, yeah. Justice Key.
Hey, you've got the audio going through on your start screen. Everyone can hear whatever you say on the
Good evening, football fans. Welcome to the opening night of the 2026 IHSA high school football season. My name's Todd McDillen. I'm here at Macomb High School for tonight's opening night matchup featuring the visiting Blue Bullets from Knoxville and the Macomb Bombers, coming off of a second round playoff appearance last year, returning several players off of that team. Looking forward to having a solid season and hoping to get on the right track here on opening night against the Blue Bullets. Macomb has plenty of returners coming back this year. Kicker Hayden Katz is one of them. Quarterback Caden Nupp is also back. You've got Carter Havens. He is returned. And, of course, number 23, Drake May, who has been getting offers, college offers, Division I so far from, we've heard from San Jose State, and Western Illinois has offered him as well. So looking forward to seeing Drake in his first action for this season. See where Macomb can go from here. A little bit of changes in the IHSA playoff format this year. They decided to expand every class. Used to be 32 teams make the playoffs here in the IHSA. Now it's up to 48 per class. They've added 16 teams for every class. That means, previous years, 6 and 3 guaranteed you a playoff. 5 and 4 probably got you in, wasn't a guarantee. That's now different. 5 and 4 now will get you in. I would think the majority of your 4 and 5 teams will be in as well. There'll even be some 3 and 6 and quite possibly even a 2 and 7 team. The way the playoffs are going to work this year is the top 16 teams in each class will be allowed a bye. They will not play in the opening round, and then the other 32 teams will play for the right to advance to play one of those top 16 seeds, and that's going to be how it's going to be in each class. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. It's going to benefit some of the larger Catholic schools towards Chicago, you would think. The teams that end up 3 and 6, 4 and 5 in those schools in the past are usually been pretty solid schools. Just ran into some very tough conference opponents. But this year that'll be a little bit different. They'll be able to get into the playoffs with those 3 and 6, 4 and 5 records and maybe make some noise. Macomb, on the other hand, getting back to our participants tonight, Macomb had a very solid season last year, finishing 8-1 in the regular season. Their only loss coming to the Farmers of Farmington. And then they took on Country Club Hills Hillcrest in the first round of the 4A playoffs and played very well. Didn't shut out. Beat Hillcrest. I believe the score was 21-6, and moved on. In the second round, they hosted Geneseo, always a tough out, and Geneseo came away with a 29-0 victory that night. So Macomb is hoping to advance further this year. I think they've got a lot of starters returning. Speaking with Coach Horrell, he's got 9 starters on both sides of the ball that are returning this year, and their kicker. They had a player move in. Colby Martin is going to be a big role player this year for them. A couple other newcomers are Tyler Schultz. He's going to start at cornerback. He came out this year after taking last season off. And Nick Elby is back out. He hasn't played since 8th grade. He'll be a tight end, wide receiver, defensive end. Kellen Martin is also a senior wide receiver. He moved here last year. Came out for football in Macomb for the first time. So Macomb is very experienced coming back and ready to start this 2026 season. Knoxville won the coin toss. They deferred to the second half. So they will be kicking off to the Bombers. Macomb will start the season with the ball, and we're getting ready to kick off the season. Game 1, 2026. Knoxville kicker is holding the ball and waiting to be told to put it out on the tee so we can get things started. There he goes. Kicker for Knoxville, number 1, Grant Lambert. And looks like for Macomb, back deep. Kind of hard to see the numbers from up here. I got the sun going right in my face, so when that gets down, it'll be a little bit better. But right now, I'm struggling to see the numbers for the Bombers. We'll see where we're at. Here is the return for the kick. Picked up about the 23, 24-yard line, returned out to the 36. And that's where the Bombers will start their first series in 2026. So first and 10 at the 36, quarterback Caden Knupp leads the Bombers out onto the field. And we are ready to go. All right, Knupp comes out in the shotgun formation. He's got a single back to his right. Hands it off. And we've got a first down and a big run to start the season. That looks like number 11, Carter Havens, with the run. He takes it from the 36 all the way to the Knoxville 45. That's a 19-yard gain and a first down. So first and 10 from the Blue Bullet 45. Knupp's calling out the play. And we've got a flag. It looks like Knoxville might have jumped. So that'll make it first and 5 for the Bombers. They are at the 40-yard line now of Knoxville. Knupp takes the snap, quick toss. The pass is complete. That's complete to Kyler Norton for another Bomber first down. That goes from the 40 down to the 23, so it's a 17-yard catch and run for Norton. Knupp completes his first pass of the season. First and 10 for the Bombers at the Knoxville 23. There's the handoff up the middle, wide open. Down to the 10, to the 5. And that is a Bomber touchdown. 23-yard run. So in to attempt the extra point is Hayden Katz, senior returner. Had a very good season last year. The snap is back, the kick is up, and he starts the season with the extra point. So less than a minute into the season, 10:59 to go in the first quarter. Macomb is already up 7-0 on the Knoxville Blue Bullets. Macomb moved the ball very well that drive. One nice completion from Nupp to Norton. Couple big runs from Havens. And the Bombers are on the board first. Let's see if Knoxville has a response. Out here to kick for the Bombers. Again, senior number 1, Hayden Katz. Everybody's lined up ready. Here we go with the kickoff. It's a little pooch into the area around the 30. It's on the ground. Looks like Knoxville did recover. Macomb tried to get something there, maybe get a bounce or a deflection off of a Knoxville player and recover. But the Knoxville player was able to jump on the ball before Macomb guys could get there. So they will start 1st and 10 at their 27. They are led by a freshman, number 5, quarterback Gavin Harshbarger. His brother, number 9, Austin Harshbarger, is in the backfield. So let's see what Knoxville's response is to the opening drive from the Bombers. There's a dive up the middle. That was given to number 30, Donovan Anthony. He gains 6 yards for the Bullets, 2nd and 4 at the 33-yard line. Macomb's got a big guy there in the middle of the line, right at the nose tackle, number 64, Charlie Bodiford. Takes up a lot of space. Let's see what the Bullets do here. There's another little quick dive play. Much better reaction from the Bomber defense. Looks like just a gain of 2, maybe 3. They give him progress out to the 36, so it will be 3rd and 1. They're going to call it 3rd and 2 in the booth, so I'll go with that. 3rd and 2 Knoxville, just on the other side of their 35-yard line. Bombers are looking to get a 3 and out here after their offense just took it right away, and they are going to get it. Pitch back to number 9, Austin Harshbarger, and a host of Bombers read that. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like a loss of a yard. They gave him progress out to the 30, but that's 4th and 3 now at the 35-yard line. And are the Bullets going to go for it? It sure looks like it. Why not take a gamble? First drive of the series, first game of the year. See what we can do. 4th and 3 for Knoxville. Here's a dive, and it's awfully close. We shall see. That's Anthony again. Did he get there or did he not? And they gave it to him. 3 yards and a first down for Gavin Anthony. Donovan Anthony, correct, sorry. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Bullets from their 38-yard line. Looks like they're trying to slow it down here a little bit. Looking over at their coach, getting the play, running the play clock down. 3 guys in the backfield for the Blue Bullets. And it's a handoff. Off to the left, little dive play. Looked like that was Austin Harshbarger with the ball. Gave him maybe a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 for Knoxville from their 39-yard line. Harshberger again gives it to the running back coming to the right side this time. And that's number 25, Hayden Warner. He's stopped for no gain or maybe another 1 yard gain. So we've got 3rd and 8 for Knoxville from their 40-yard line. Coach Marty Turner of the Blue Bullets over there calling the play for the offense. And it looks like we might have a rollout pass here. However, there's a fumble, and the Bombers get the recovery. Fumble recovered by number 2, Colby Martin. The Bombers are going to take possession at the Blue Bullet 35-yard line. So after the turnover, let's see what the Bombers have in mind. Knupp has Drake May to his right. Havens in motion. He gets the forward pitch. That's actually going to be called a pass, and that is going to be a 35-yard touchdown for the Bombers. Caden Knupp to Carter Havens. And just like that, the Bombers have opened up a 13-0 lead. Point after touchdown is pending. So again, Hayden Katz ready to make the attempt. The snap is good. The kick is good. And just like that, turnover, 1 play, the Bombers with 6:39 to go in the first quarter have opened up a 14-0 lead on the Blue Bullets. Pretty nice start to the season for Caden Knupp of the Bombers. The quarterback is 2 for 2. He's thrown the ball for 52 yards, and he has a touchdown. Carter Havens has 1 reception for 35 yards and a touchdown. Kyler Norton was the other receiver. He caught the 17-yard pass on that first drive. And Havens opened the game with a 19-yard run. And that was it. That's all Macomb needed. So quickly, within 6 minutes, 14-0 lead for the Bombers. While we have a moment here, let me tell you about the McDonough District Hospital Athletic Trainers and the MDH Rehabilitation Center, with locations in Bushnell and Macomb, provide expert help to area student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital. More than hospital care, a hospital caring. Well, I got to tell you, you could not have asked for a better start to the season if you are Coach Tanner Horrell and the Macomb Bombers. 2 quick touchdown strikes, got a turnover from their defense. They look quick. They look big. They look like they're ready to pick up right where they left off last year. Coach Horrell has to be happy with how things have gone so far. It is early. We're only halfway through the first quarter, but Macomb up 14-0, and Hayden Katz is ready to kick off to the Blue Bullets for another time. He approaches the ball, and oh, what a big hit. Knoxville player got stuck right away. That was number 23 for the Blue Bullets, Alex Granillo, who caught the kickoff and was met immediately by a Macomb player. I did not get the number. Apologize for that. But Knoxville will start from their 29 with their second drive of the game. We shall see what Knoxville has up their sleeve. See if they can dent the scoreboard or if Macomb continues their early game dominance. Quick handoff to number 9. That's Austin Harshberger. He gets stopped for no gain. So 2nd and 10 for the Bullets from their 30-yard line. That Macomb D-line is really getting some penetration here early against Knoxville. Knoxville is a young team. They lost a lot from last year's team. They were a playoff team. They finished 5-4 in the regular season and qualified for the playoffs before losing at Clifton Central in the first round. Here's a pass from Harshberger, complete to number 1, Grant Lambert, and it looks like it's enough for a first down. It is. It's a gain of 10 and a first down for the Blue Bullets. So they now have 1st and 10 at their 40-yard line, just on the other side of the 40. Freshman Gavin Harshbarger underneath. Pitches out to his brother Austin. Makes a nice spin move, but is met by a bunch of Bombers, led by Colby Martin. Looks like there's no gain whatsoever, so it will now be 2nd and 10 for Knoxville. Macomb makes a couple of lineup changes. Coming off the field for the Bombers is Charlie Bodiford and William Thomas. So 2nd and 10 for Knoxville from their 40-yard line. There's a quick dive. Again, that's number 9, Austin Harshbarger, from his brother Gavin. He gains 2 on that play, bringing up a 3rd and 8. So the Bullets 3rd and 8 from their 42. They did go for it on their first drive when they had a 4th and 3 from their own, I believe it was the 35-yard line. So they're showing a willingness to, risk it right away. So this could be 2-down territory, even though you got 3rd and 8 and they're on their own 42. Don't be surprised if Knoxville comes short up here, or comes up short here, that they decide to go for it on 4th down again. We got a flag on the play. It looks like a false start there on Knoxville. Yes, illegal motion. So that flag will drop them back 5. It will now be Knoxville's ball, 3rd and 13 from their 37. It's an absolutely picture-perfect night here in Macomb. Not a cloud in the sky. The only complaint I have is the sun is right in my eyes. Can't wait for that to get down below the tree line. But, there's a bad pitch, and there's Macomb again, recovering the fumble. And they will take over once again in Bomber territory. And that was Colby Martin recovering the turnover, recovering the fumble. So the Bombers take over 1st and 10 at the Knoxville 30-yard line. Two receivers split out wide right. There's a handoff right up the middle. That looks like it's Colby Martin. That's a Bomber first down, a run of 11 yards for Martin. Macomb will have first and 10 at the Knoxville 19. So Nupp surveying the defense. Quick dive up the middle. Didn't catch the number there, but whoever it was a gain of 6. So that brings up 2nd and 4 for Macomb at the Knoxville 13. And it looks like a whole bunch of blue bullets jumped. We got a flag on the play. That will mark off 5 yards, give the Bombers a first down. And they got first and goal at the 8-yard line. Nupp drops back, looks to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. What a great effort there, but he was just out of bounds. Now 2nd and goal for the Bombers from the 8-yard line. There's the handoff. And breaking tackles left and right and into the end zone. So the third first quarter touchdown for the Macomb Bombers. And they now lead it 20-0. That was Colby Martin running it in. So Hayden Katz back on the field, trying his 3rd extra point of the evening. We haven't even reached the 2nd quarter yet. Kick is up, and it is good. You can count on Hayden Katz. I think he missed last year 1 extra point the entire year. So he is Mr. Reliable. Anyways, before the sun is even set this evening, before we've even reached the first quarter buzzer, the Bombers have opened up a 21-0 lead over Knoxville. Macomb took the opening kickoff, drove right down the field, scored a touchdown. Knoxville got the ball, and on a 3rd down rollout, the quarterback was hit, sacked, and fumbled the ball, recovered by the Bombers, who took it in on the very next play. There was a Caden Nupp pass, 35 yards to Carter Havens. Then Knoxville got the ball again, turned it over again on another fumble. Macomb recovered. 5 plays later, they were in the end zone a 3rd time. It's 21-0 Bombers. Katz's kickoff. They like getting over there to that left-hand side. There's a better run. Number 13, I believe. Couldn't tell who returned that for Knoxville, but he ran it forward, got it all the way out to the 41-yard line. That's where the Blue Bullets will start this drive from their 41. Seems like the majority of the game has been played between the 30 and 45-yard lines on the Knoxville side, other than when the Bombers are taking it into the end zone. So Knoxville again starts from their 41. Harshbarger takes the snap, pitches back to his brother, and he is hit hard. Those Bomber linebackers are just reading the plays and making some solid hits. It looks like a gain of 1 for Harshbarger. 2nd and 9 for Knoxville from their 42-yard line. Quick dive up the middle. There's a nice run. Blue Bullets, number 30. That's Donovan Anthony. He takes it out to the 49-yard line. That's a gain of 7. So it's 3rd and 2 for the Blue Bullets. 49-yard line. There's a handoff. Met at the line of scrimmage. Looked like that was number 2, Quentin Woodruff. Sophomore. Got stopped for no gain. And here comes Knoxville going for it again. This is on 4th and 2. Harshbarger getting the play in from Coach Marty Turner. Gets under center, pitch back, and they do have enough for a Blue Bullet first down. Nice run by Austin Harshbarger. He gained 5. And the Blue Bullets actually have a first down in Macomb territory. They're now at the 46-yard line of the Bombers, trying to sustain a drive. They don't want to get this game too out of control. And if they can put points on the board here, they can stay within striking distance. But it looks like that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. The Bombers will lead it 21-0 as we head to the second quarter. So fans, Macomb's original local sports bar is Sports Corner at 124. With a focus on local sports, catch WIU games and all the area TSSR Game Time live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124, all while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. Fans with locations in Macomb and Augusta, and with 80 years of car sales experience, Ron Elby Auto Sales is your hometown go-to for your next car. In Macomb on East Jackson Street, stop in and talk to Justin, Jared, or Chris, or visit www.ronelby.com to check out their inventory. So the teams take the field to begin the second quarter. Knoxville has a first down and will run their first play from Bomber territory in this ball game. 1st and 10 at the Macomb 46. And you can see that Knoxville's strategy is to take it slow, methodical, try to keep the ball out of the hands of this Bomber offense that's just setting the world on fire tonight. Quick strike and have taken advantage of both those turnovers that Knoxville has committed. So the first play of the second quarter goes to number 9, Austin Harshbarger. He runs for a couple of yards down to the Macomb 44. 2nd and 8 for the Bullets. Drop it back to pass. He turns to his right and right there to meet him in the backfield for the Bombers. Looks like the guy that's been everywhere tonight, number 2, Colby Martin. Big sack of Gavin Harshbarger all the way back to the Knoxville 47. That's a loss of 9. 3rd and 17 for Knoxville from their own 47. There's a handoff and tripped up in the backfield. Drake May with the stop. Another loss of 2. 4th and 19 for Knoxville. They're not going to go for it this time. A little bit too much for their coach to ask from the offense. So into punt for Knoxville for the first time. Punt is off by number 1, Grant Lambert. And from the 45, it goes out at the Bomber 46-yard line. Nope, correction, the 45. So the Lambert punt goes 10 yards. The Bombers take over 1st and 10 from their 45. Now heading north towards the north end zone. So Macomb's first play of the second quarter. Nupp goes under center. Hands it off to us on a sweep. And there's plenty of room. Oh, tripped up just at the last player. That was number 11, Carter Havens. Runs it for, looks like 14 yards, maybe 15. We'll call it 14. First down for the Bombers in Knoxville territory at the 41. This offensive line for the Bombers just opening up some holes all over the place for these running backs. Nupp with a short pass. Complete again. He hasn't thrown an incompletion yet tonight. He's only thrown 3 passes, but all 3 have been caught. That one was caught by Kyler Norton. That's his second catch of the evening. Just a gain of 4 for Norton. correction. Knupp did throw an incompletion in that first quarter. The attempt in the back corner of the end zone that was ruled out of bounds. So he is 3 for 4 this evening. 2nd and 6 for Macomb. There's another handoff. There's another gaping hole. Plenty of room to run. And inside the 10-yard line. That's Drake May. A 27-yard run for Drake May and a first down. Bombers have 1st and goal at the Knoxville 9-yard line. Knocking on the door again. May stands to the left. Nope. Changes his mind. Comes to the right. Quarterback Caden Knupp. There's the snap. Fakes the handoff. Passes incomplete. That was intended for Nick Elby in the corner of the end zone. Bombers will have 2nd and goal here from the Blue Bullet 9-yard line. Two in the backfield, behind and up. Surveys the defense, steps under center. There's a handoff off the middle. Breaking tackles into the end zone. Bombers into the end zone again. Now lead it 27-0. Extra point pending. So the Hayden Cats extra point is up, and it is good. He is 4 for 4 this evening. Bombers now lead it 28-0. The Bombers in full control of this ball game this evening. Opening night. Well, technically not the opening night. There were some schools in the state that kicked off their season last night, Thursday night here in Illinois. But I've always considered Friday nights to be high school football night, and as far as I'm concerned, this is opening night for the Bombers and the majority of this high school football playing teams here in the state of Illinois. Macomb enjoys a 28-0 lead over the Blue Bullets here early in the second quarter. Oh, got a little bit of a false start there. Hayden's going to have to step back and start over. Referees look like they're coming up to have a conversation. Not sure what's going on. Well, I am not sure exactly what is going on, and it looks like Hayden Katz is a little confused as well. He had the ball set up on the 40-yard line on the tee, and one of the referees has directed him to move it back 5 yards, so he'll be kicking from the 35-yard line. So I I guess that counts as a 5-yard penalty against the Bombers. I don't know what the penalty was, but in any case, Cats will be kicking from the 35. And we're ready to go. Kick is taken at the 15. That is number 2, Quentin Woodruff, returning the kick. He's brought down, looks like around the 27, 28-yard line. They're going to put it at the 28, where the Bullets will take over 1st and 10. The Bullets have had a couple of instances tonight where they've been able to move the ball methodically. But a couple mistakes, couple turnovers in the first quarter, recovered by the Bombers, 2 fumbles. And then their last drive, they actually crossed into Macomb territory, only to have a big Colby Martin sack, push them back across into theirs, and then a 2-yard loss on a 3rd down run led to a punt that only went 10 yards. Macomb was able to take that and punch it into the end zone. Here's a nice run from the Bullets. Number 30. Donovan Anthony, he's able to take it out to the 38. That's a gain of 11. That's a Knoxville 1st down. Correction, gain of 9. And it's 2nd and 1 at the 38. Harshbarger moves underneath the center. The freshman hands the ball off. That's going to be enough for a 1st down out to the 41. Ball carrier looked like number 30 again. That's Donovan Anthony. He gains 3 and a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Blue Bullets from their 41. Folks, the sun has finally gone down behind the trees, and I can now see the players' numbers a lot better than I could that first quarter. So I apologize if I've missed anybody's names or numbers. I know that first Bomber touchdown, I missed the player's number. I didn't see it. Wasn't able to give him his kudos. But moving forward, we should be better now with no sun in my eyes. Here's Harshbarger. Looked like a busted play, but he's able to make something out of it. Runs to his left and might have gained 1 yard. So it's 2nd and 9 for Knoxville from the 42. It's a tough opener for Knoxville this year for sure. Next week, they will have their home opener against Rushville Industry. And then they host West Hancock in week 3 and then go to LVC Friday, September 11th in week 4. Here comes a blitz by the Bombers. Knoxville's able to run the other way. But again, those Macomb linebackers, this time led by number 10, Kyler Norton. Looks like a gain of 2. So 3rd and 7 for Knoxville. Hayden Warner was the ball carrier that time. 3rd and 7 Knoxville at their 44. And Harshbarger's going to pass. And it looks like it's complete. Out there to number 1, Grant Lambert. So that's all the way down to the Macomb. Is it the 44-yard line? Yes, it is. So that's a gain of 12. Nicely done. Duo of Harshbarger to Lambert. Knoxville will have first and 10 at the Bomber 44-yard line. So as we've seen, Knoxville has the ability to move the ball a little bit. They just got to make sure that they can maintain the momentum and find a way to punch it into the end zone. There's a nice handoff. Gain of a couple of yards. Looks like that again is number 30, Donovan Anthony. It is. He's down to the Bomber 42-yard line. Gain of about 3. Correction, make it 2. 2nd and 8 for Knoxville in Bomber territory at the 42-yard line. Pitch back to number 25. That is Hayden Warner, but the Bomber defense was right there to stop him. He might have picked up 1 or 2. He does get down to the 40-yard line, so a 2-yard gain. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 5 for Knoxville at the Bomber 40. Again, Knoxville has shown a penchant to go for it on 4th down, so I definitely think if they don't get the first down here, they'll be going for it on 4th down. 2-down territory. Down 28-0 here in the second quarter. Back to pass, the freshman Harshbarger. He throws it deep. He's got a man. But the Macomb secondary is able to knock the pass away. Incomplete. That is actually Harshbarger's first incompletion tonight. He's 2 for 3. So it's going to be 4th and 5 for Knoxville at the 40. Here they go again. No punt for these Blue Bullets. They're going to use every down they can. Try to get that first down. 4th and 5 for Knoxville. Ooh, the double handoff. Gonna be just short. Hayden Warner needed 5, comes up with 4. And that's going to be a turnover on downs for the Blue Bullets. Knoxville loses possession. Macomb will take over. 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. About 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this second quarter. Let's see if Macomb can drive down the field and put some more points on the board before we get to halftime. If their previous 4 drives are any indication, it's probably a good chance it'll happen. But let's see. Knupp takes the ball, hands it off. Nicely done by Knoxville. Looked like number 58, Lucas Herring, was in there on the tackle. Gain of 2 on the play. So 2nd and 8 for the Bombers from their 37-yard line. Knupp takes the snap in the shotgun position. Throws it deep into double coverage. Looked like that was intended for Drake May. Or Cameron Keene. Sorry, anyways, pass is incomplete. 3rd and 8 for the Bombers. This would be a nice stop for Knoxville if they can get this defense 3 and out. Get the ball back with one more shot to put points on the board before we reach halftime. Let's see what Coach Horrell has up his sleeve for the Bomber offense here. You got 3 wide receivers, wide right, 1 wide to the left, And we've got the Bullets jumping again. That's the third time this evening that the Bombers have been able to draw them off sides. Makes it a lot different from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 3. So the Bombers now at the 42, only needing 3 yards to keep the drive going. Direct snap. Knupp takes it right up the middle into Knoxville territory. He's down at the 43-yard line. It's a 15-yard gain for Caden Knupp and a first down. Bombers have 1st and 10. Knoxville's 43, trying to punch it in, get some more points right before halftime. Knupp takes the snap, rolls right, looking downfield. He's got a receiver. It is caught down to the 20-yard line. That is Carter Havens. Down to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Quick pass, incomplete this time. Now brings up a 2nd down and 10 for the Bombers. Again, they're at Knoxville's 21-yard line, trying to put up some more points here before we get to the halftime horn. From the shotgun, Knupp hands it off. Up the middle, there goes Drake May. He's down at the 10. That's going to be another first down. That's a gain of 11. And the Bombers call their first timeout. So Bombers use their first timeout. Just over a minute left on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. Looks like 1:04. It will be 1st and goal for the Bombers when they return. I got to tell you, what I've seen tonight, Macomb's offense looks awfully, awfully good. They have some good receivers. They have some solid running backs. And kudos to that offensive line. They're just blowing some holes open for these running backs to run through. So we're getting ready to get back on the field, back into action. 1st and goal for the Bombers at the 10. Knupp still in the shotgun. In motion goes number 10. That's Kyler Norton. And again, that was the little pitch forward. So that counts as a pass. Knupp to Norton, looks for 5 yards. 2nd and goal at the 5. Bombers knocking on the door. We're now under a minute to play. There's the handoff straight up the middle. And that's another Bomber touchdown. This one looks like it goes to Drake May, 5 yards. For another Bomber touchdown. in to attempt his 5th extra point of the night is Hayden Katz. He puts it up and in. He's now 5 for 5 this evening. And Macomb's lead has jumped to 35-0 over the Blue Bullets. About 34 seconds left in this first half. I would imagine that Knoxville will probably just take the kick and kneel out, run out the clock. But you never know. They could have a trick play up their sleeve, maybe something Coach Turner wants to call. Try here in week 1. Macomb thoroughly dominating this game and have control 35-0 here late in the second quarter. There's the kickoff. There's a hole. Oh, there's a fumble. And it looks like number 2, Quentin Woodruff, has fumbled the ball. And that is Knoxville's 3rd turnover of the evening. Macomb recovers. 1st and 10 at Knoxville's 32-yard line. Can Macomb put it in the end zone one more time with 27 seconds and 2 timeouts left in Coach Horrell's pocket? All right, Caden up. Oh, takes the snap, but there's a stoppage. Don't know what happened there. In any case, here we go. 1st and 10 Bombers, Knoxville's 32-yard line. We're ready for action. Nupp in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to throw, has got plenty of time, going to the end zone. Oh, knocked away at the last minute. Good defense from, that's Gavin Harshbarger. Knoxville's freshman quarterback, also playing in the secondary. We now have 2nd and 10 for the Bombers at the 32-yard line. So again in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers left. And that's a handoff up the middle, wide open. Drake May, 32 yards for the touchdown. And Macomb once again able to take advantage of a turnover by Knoxville. And it is now 41-0 in favor of the Bombers, pending the Hayden Katz extra point. Here's the snap. The kick is up. And Katz is a perfect 6 for 6 this evening. Macomb's lead late in the second quarter, 42, Knoxville 0. So looking ahead for the Bombers, next week they'll be right back here at home as they host LVC. Then they go on the road 2 straight weeks. They'll be in Rushville week 3, and then they head to Stark County, Toulon, week 4. Big game after that, week 5, Friday, September 18th, homecoming here in Macomb against Highland. Bigger school from down in the St. Louis area. That should provide real nice competition for these Bombers. So back to kick. Here's Hayden Katz. We're about under 20 seconds here in the second quarter. The kick goes to number 2. That's Quentin Woodruff. He's at the 20, at the 30. Still going, still battling. Nice run there by Woodruff. Gets to the 32-yard line. Knoxville will take over from there, 1st and 10. So Harshbarger looking across at his coach, getting to play. I can't imagine it's going to be anything more than a simple run here, try to run out this clock in the first half, which has been thoroughly dominated by these Macomb Bombers. Sure enough, handoff right up the middle, gain of about 3. That's number 25, Hayden Warner, and that ends the first half. What a first half for the Macomb Bombers. We enter halftime. It is Macomb 42, Knoxville nothing. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. Before we get started with this third quarter, with the 42-point lead, the Bombers are going to have a running clock. This second half will go by pretty fast, as the clock will not stop, except for scores or injuries. But we have a few minutes here. Let me give you some updated scores from around the Lincoln Land. New name for the conference this year. Last year was the Lincoln Trail Prairie Land, and they had two divisions, large and small. This year they've gone geographic. They've gone north, south, and west. The Bombers are out in the west with Farmington, Illini West, Elmwood, and West Hancock. Speaking of West Hancock, they are currently down at halftime to A-Town, 27-12. And Stark County, who is Macomb's fourth week opponent, currently has a 15-0 lead over South Fulton late in the second quarter. That's pretty much the only two Lincoln Land scores we have right now. But both teams are back on the field. We're getting ready to start here shortly. So that first half, dominated by Macomb in every facet of the game. They ran it well. They were able to make some nice completions. Knoxville at times was able to move the ball, but their big bugaboo has been their turnovers. They've had 3 fumbles, all 3 recovered by the Bombers. So as we start this second half, remember, Knoxville won the toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred, so they will be receiving the ball to start the third quarter. And let's see if they can come out and put a little drive together, maybe put some points on the board. Now, once the score has reached over 40 points here in the second half, as I said earlier, the clock will be a running clock. And even if Knoxville were to score a touchdown, get it underneath that 40-point mark, doesn't matter. Once it's 40 points, the clock runs. So a touchdown here for Knoxville would not mean the clock then stops and starts as it normally would. It's just going to be a running clock here for the third and fourth quarter. So back out to start this third quarter with yet another kickoff is Hayden Katz, 6 for 6 on the night from the extra point marker. Just picking up where he was last year. Very reliable. Coach Horrell is extremely happy to have him back. And, Coach Horrell mentioned when we talked briefly that he was excited to have the 9 starters back on both sides of the ball. But here we go. Kickoff to begin that third quarter. Knoxville receives it at the 20. And not much room over there to the left-hand side. Austin Harshbarger returns the kick. Looks like he got it out to about the 27-yard line. That's where Knoxville will begin. 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle for Knoxville. Nice little gain. Out to the 33. Gain of about 6. 2nd and 4 for Knoxville from their 33-yard line. Harshbarger under center, takes the snap. Oh, and there's a flag on the play. Before the play begins, looks like a false start on Knoxville. That'll be their 5th penalty of the night for 25 yards, all of the 5-yard variety. So that knocks it down to 2nd and 9 for the Blue Bullets here in the 3rd quarter. Macomb leading 42-0. There's a handoff. Another nice little run off the left side. Gets it out to the 34-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for Knoxville from their 34. Knoxville still playing their game. Slow, deliberate. Look over to the sidelines, get the play from the coach. There's a pitch out. Able to get around the left side, break some yardage. Still going, number 9. Nice run, Austin Harshbarger. Might be Knoxville's biggest play of the night as he runs it out to the 46-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bullets. It's a 12-yard run for Austin Harshbarger. Harshbarger talking to his running back. It looks like number 30, Anthony. And he hands it off up the middle. Gain of about 3 yards out to the 49-yard line. Bringing up 2nd and 7 for the Blue Bullets. That was Anthony on the ball, on the carry. 2nd and 7, Knoxville. Knoxville does like to take that play clock down. That is for sure. So Harshbarger under center. Finally, quick dive off to the right-hand side. That's Anthony again. He breaks into Macomb territory. He's down at the Bomber 48. That's going to bring up about a 3rd and 4 from the 48-yard line of Macomb. You know that Knoxville's going to go for it on 4th down. They have every time they've had a chance tonight, except for one time when it was 4th and 19. That one was a little too long for them. But any other 4th down this evening, Knoxville has gone for the 1st down and bypassed the punt. I would imagine they'll do it again here if they don't get the 1st down on this play. There's the pitch to his brother Austin Harshbarger. He's dropped just short of the 1st down. He's down at the Macomb 45. It's now going to be 4th and 1 for Knoxville. And as expected, they're lining up to go for it. See if the Bomber defense can hold here again, or if Knoxville can keep this drive going. Harshbarger is under center. Takes the snap. Quick dive. Number 30. That's Donovan Anthony, and he's got enough for the Bullet 1st down. He takes it to the Macomb 43. They needed 1. He got 2. 1st and 10, Knoxville at the 43-yard line. Their handoff up the middle. Little dive for Knoxville. And very, very hard running. Kept going. Kept pushing the pile. And he's going to get credited with a run all the way down to the Bomber 35. That's a 9-yard run. 2nd and 1, Knoxville at the Bomber 35. Looks like the same play. Older brother Austin Harshbarger gets around the left end. He gets enough for another Knoxville first down. Deepest penetration of the evening for the Blue Bullets. They will have a 1st and 10 at the Bomber 30-yard line after that 6-yard run from Harshbarger. Gavin Harshbarger keeps it himself, goes around the left end. Looks like he picks up about 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 for Knoxville at the Macomb 27-yard line. Nice little sustained drive here by the Bullets to start the second half. We're already down under 4 minutes in the third quarter. Harshbarger finally under center. Gets the play from his coach. Hands it off to the left. Breaking through. Knoxville is in the red zone. Nice little run there. Gain of about 12 down to the Macomb 15. Where Knoxville will have 1st and 10. Knocking on the goal line. Looking to put some points on the board for the first time in 2026. Clock continues to go as we are now under 3 minutes in the third quarter. Macomb has yet to have possession in this quarter. It's been all Knoxville. Seems to be their style. Just pound and ground. Up the middle. Big run. Inside the 5. Austin Harshbarger takes it down to the 4-yard line. Knoxville's going to have 1st and goal inside the Bomber 5. Looks like being inside the red zone does not change the way Knoxville plays. They still look over at coach. Very deliberate. Handoff right up the middle. Macomb was there that time. The whole interior of the defensive line. Looks like they met Hayden Warner for no gain. It's going to be 2nd down and goal for Knoxville at the 4-yard line. About a minute and a half to go here in this third quarter. First time the Macomb defense has really been tested this evening. Let's see if they can hold Knoxville out of the end zone here, because you know they're going to go for it on 4th down if it gets that far. Harshbarger under center, takes the snap, handoff up the middle. There's that Macomb interior line, stopping the runner once again. Harshbarger did not get much. He got down to about the 3, where it's 3rd and goal now for Knoxville. We are under a minute in this third quarter. So with the running clock, if Knoxville does not score here and it goes to fourth down, there's a strong chance that that play will happen in the fourth quarter. Here's the handoff. Doesn't matter. Into the end zone. Knoxville with their first 6 points of the season. Quentin Woodruff takes it in from 3 yards out for Knoxville. And it is now 42-6 in favor of Macomb. What a drive by Knoxville. 11 minutes, 40 seconds off the clock. There's 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. So now to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So, with 20 seconds left here in the third quarter, Macomb has the lead over Knoxville, 42-7. What a nice drive for Knoxville to come out there in the third quarter after that rough first half where Macomb just had their way with them. They were able to pick up some big yardage on some plays. They converted a fourth down. Finally sustained a drive, held on to the ball, didn't turn it over. And Knoxville's on the board with their first touchdown of this 2026 season. Now, what will Macomb do? Macomb, what's going to be their strategy here as we start late third quarter and the fourth quarter? Because, again, remember, it's going to be a running clock. So if Macomb wants to be methodical, take their time, they can. That hasn't been what they've shown, though. They seem to be a very quick strike offense, big plays. Their offensive line was dominating Knoxville's earlier, just opening up gaping holes for the running backs. May, Havens, so on. The Knoxville kick goes out of bounds. So that's going to be a penalty on the Bullets. For Knoxville, it's penalty number 5 tonight. They have 25 yards in penalties. All of the 5-yard variety. So Macomb will take over. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. So again, 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. What is Macomb going to do? So they come out lined up beneath the center. They're not in their shotgun. Oh, correction, they are in the shotgun. Fumbled snap. Recovered by the Bombers. That might be the first mistake that this offense has made this evening. Other than a couple of, semi-drop passes or, no penalties, nothing of that nature. However, that is the end of the third quarter with that play. That loss of 2 yards is going to bring up 2nd and 12 for Macomb when we start this fourth quarter. So, folks, enjoy the sweet treats at the Full Scoop on Highway 136 in Colchester. A huge variety of ice cream favorites and meals to go, or you can eat in. See their social media for nightly specials. Do you want a quick pick-me-up? You'll love the refreshing Lotus drinks. Choose one of their flavors or make up one of your own. The Full Scoop is the sponsor of the Player of the Week for both West Prairie and Macomb. No one understands your land like you do, and Nutrient Ag Solutions is ready to help you get the most out of every acre. They provide the specialized technology and products needed to ensure your crops stay healthy and strong all season long. Call them today in Blandonsville at 309-652-3694, Ferris 217-746-3861, or in Macomb 309 833-3958. So as we begin this fourth quarter, the Bombers come out. They'll have a 2nd and 12 after the botched snap to start their drive here. Macomb has scored on every possession they've had so far tonight, 6 out of 6. Oh, correction, I was wrong. The fumble was recovered by Knoxville. And Knoxville does have possession. On the first play, Harshbarger completes a long pass inside the 5. Knoxville's going to have 1st and goal at the Bomber 3. I had no idea Knoxville had recovered that fumble. I thought that Knupp had just jumped on it, saved the possession for Macomb, but I was wrong. So Knoxville, after the big completion, 1st and goal at the Bomber 3. Harshbarger under center, hands it off, and that's another Knoxville touchdown. Austin Harshbarger in from 3 yards out. And just like that, it is now Macomb 42, Knoxville 13. So attempting the extra point for the Blue Bullets is number 1, Grant Lambert. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So Knoxville with back-to-back touchdowns. The score is now Macomb 42, Knoxville 14. That was a quick one. Still a little over 11 minutes to go here in the game. I have a feeling Coach Horrell, even though that 42-0 first half was dominant, not going to be very pleased with how things have progressed here in the second half. You know, give Knoxville credit for that long drive to start the second quarter, but you never want to let down when you have a big lead, and to turn the ball over like that on the first play after that long drive. Can't please the head coach all that much. So we'll see what Macomb does here to respond to Knoxville's 14 points here. It's 42-14 in favor of the Bombers. We're early in the fourth quarter. We do have a running clock. Macomb led at halftime 42-0. So Lambert is waiting for the kick. As soon as he gets permission, he'll be on his way. There he goes. Kick is off to the right-hand side. And going right down the sideline. All the way into Knoxville territory. James Liebsack returned that kick for Macomb all the way to the Knoxville 41-yard line. Bombers will begin possession 1st and 10 at the Knoxville 41. There's a handoff right up the middle. Gain of about 4. Kyler Miller on the run there. Gain of 4. 2nd and 6 Macomb at the Bullet 38. Another handoff up the middle. Nice little run. Gain of about 4 or 5. That was Gavin Livermore with the ball carry. He gained 4. 3rd and 2 for the Bombers at Knoxville's 34-yard line. And once again, Knoxville drawn off sides. This one's a little bit more damaging, however, as it leads to an automatic first down for the Bombers. 1st and 10 at the Knoxville 29-yard line. Handoff goes to the left-hand side. Little dancing around in the backfield. It's like a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 for the Bombers at the Knoxville 28. We're down around 8 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Macomb leads 42-14. We've had a running clock this entire second half. Back to throw. There's a completion. Catch was made by number 20, Andrew Lee. He gets it down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 3. 3rd and 6 for the Bombers at the Knoxville 25. There's a snap. Oh, there's an incomplete pass. Again, they tried to do that forward pitch, which is technically an incomplete pass. So no fumble, but it does bring up a 4th down for the Bombers at the 25-yard line. 4th and 6 for Macomb. They are going to go for it. There's the inside handoff. Goes nowhere. Knoxville had that red. And that's number 27, Gavin Livermore, stopped in the backfield. Loses 2 yards, maybe 3. Knoxville will take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. With the clock moving, we're down to about 5.5 minutes to go in the game. See if Knoxville can move it down the field and put some more points on the board. Taking the snap, Harshbarger, the freshman, hands it off. Nice stop there by the defensive line for Macomb. Gain of about 2. 2nd and 8 at the 30-yard line. That was Hayden Warner on the run. Off up the middle again. That's been Knoxville's modus operandi, running left, running right, running up the middle. Looks like a gain out to the 33. Be a 3-yard gain for the Bullets. 3rd and 5 for Knoxville coming up. We're at about 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. There's Warner. Nice head of steam. Breaks across the 40-yard line. Gets out to about the 43. That's another Knoxville first down. Make it the 42. 1st and 10 for the Bullets from their own 42-yard line. Knoxville still taking their time. Simple dive off the right-hand side. Nice run. Gets out to the, looks like it's the 47. It's a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, Knoxville at the 47. There's another handoff up the middle. Looks like a gain of about 6 or 7. That's going to be another Blue Bullet first down into Macomb territory. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. So that was a gain of 6 yards. So Knoxville's not done. They're looking to put something on the board one more time. There's another handoff straight up the middle. It's like rinse and repeat here with the Blue Bullets. Just handing off. Left, right, center. Gain of about 3. Gets down to the Bomber 44. 2nd and 7 for Knoxville. Clock continues to run. We are under 2 minutes. Big handoff off the right-hand side. That was Quentin Woodruff. He gains enough for another Blue Bullet first down. Down to the Bomber 36. 1st and 10 for Knoxville. We're now inside of a minute. Do they have enough time to punch it in one more time? There's about 50 seconds to go in the game. Hands off to the left. Oh, there's another fumble. And it's recovered. Who's got it? Looks like the Blue Bullets were able to recover. So Quentin Woodruff takes it in, but fumbles recovered by the Bullets. 1st and 10 at the Bomber 12. They're trying to get one more play off here. And they're not going to do it. That's going to be the ball game. Your final score this evening. The Macomb Bombers start the 2026 season in rousing fashion. Light the fireworks. Macomb 42, Knoxville 14. We will hope to have Coach Horrell up here to join me in a little bit. We can talk briefly about tonight's game and look forward to next week when the Bombers are right back here at the high school hosting LVC. While we wait for Coach Horrell, I'll give you some Lincoln Land Conference teams and their scores this evening on opening night. Anawan Weathersfield, who's actually getting some votes in the Class 1A rankings. I believe they're tied for 10th in the preseason. They lead Elmwood Brimfield 22-0. That is with 3:44 left in the third. Stark County has moved ahead of South Fulton 27-6. That game is also in the third quarter. Rushville Industry took it on the chin today. They opened their season with a tough matchup up in Galena. Galena took it to them 41-0. That's a final. Abingdon, our last report, still leads West Hancock 27-12 at halftime. And that's all we have currently. We don't have any score on Princeville Illini West. We don't have anything on Farmington Havana. We don't have anything on Rova and LVC or Monmouth United and Bureau Valley. So as we wait for Coach Horrell, we can talk about how this game was actually two different halves. The Bombers just absolutely thoroughly dominated that first half. Created 3 turnovers, scored a touchdown off all 3 of them. They ran at will. Their offensive line just opened massive holes for their running backs to run through. Quarterback Caden Nupp completed some nice passes. Didn't have to throw it too much. He did get credited for 1 touchdown pass of 34 yards to Carter Havens on a forward pitch. Those are considered passes. But it was a 42-0 lead for the Bombers at halftime. And then the second half with the running clock, Coach Horrell was able to get in some of his younger players, and they got some varsity experience. Knoxville, with only 26 players on their roster, kept with their starters, and they were able to take advantage. Drove right down the field with the third quarter kickoff, almost took off the entire third quarter clock. Again, it was a running clock because Macomb was up over 40 points at halftime. But still, Knoxville did a very nice job of controlling the ball, maintaining their pace, and they scored their first touchdown under a minute to go in the third quarter, make it 42-7. Macomb then on the first play of their drive in the second half fumbled the snap in the shotgun. I had initially thought Macomb had recovered it. I was wrong. Knoxville actually recovered it. First play of the fourth quarter, they were able to bust open a run, get inside the 5, and the next play, Austin Harshberger took it in for a 3-yard touchdown, and just like that, it was Macomb 42, Knoxville 14. That is how the ball game ended. Macomb was able to get a little bit of a drive there in the fourth quarter. They got inside the 30-yard line of Knoxville, but could not get any further and turn it over on downs. And Knoxville was moving the ball. They were down inside the Macomb 20-yard line when that running clock finally ran out. So final score again here tonight, Macomb 42, Knoxville 14. Good start to the Bombers season. So again, looking ahead, Knoxville next week, they will be hosting Rushville Industry, who we said earlier lost to Galena tonight, 41-0. After that, they will host West Hancock, and then they'll be at LVC. Macomb's schedule moving forward the next couple of weeks. They're right back here in Macomb next Friday night against LVC. Travel to Rushville Industry week 3. Travel to Stark County in week 4. Stark County currently beating South Fulton at last check. And then homecoming is Friday, September 18th. Macomb hosts Highland, a school down in the St. Louis suburbs. Bigger school, be nice competition. And the week after that, the big one against Farmington. So Macomb will have 2 straight weeks of solid competition coming up here in a few weeks. And I'm now joined by Coach Horrell. Congrats tonight, Coach. Good first win, good opening start against a fairly decent Knoxville team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, they're really well coached. They're just young. They got bit by the injury bug with the older Harshberger getting hurt and out for the year, so that really sucks for them. And another kid didn't go out for football this year, so not quite the team that maybe we were playing in, but I think they're going to be all right. They played a lot of young kids, and he's building a program over there.
Absolutely. Boy, that first half, you guys were dominant. Your offensive line was just opening holes you could drive trucks through with your running backs. So you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, we've talked about that potential, and we've talked about the guys we have coming back. So it was nice to see that hard work pay off, right? And they've created some nice holes for our skill guys to make plays, whether it was on the run or through the air. So all credit goes up front first.
Absolutely. Also, your defense in that first half created some turnovers, had 3 fumbles, recovered all 3 of them, and you guys were able to score off of those as well. So, again, got to be happy with that first half. Second half, maybe not so much, but you got some younger kids into play, and that's good for them in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We think our depth's a lot better this year. So last year when we got in these situations, it was a little different. I feel like we did a lot better tonight than what we did in the past. Our guys competed. It took them the entire third quarter to score that touchdown. And then we had an unfortunate first time playing quarterback in a varsity football game or in high school. So little bobbled snap, and they got it. But he bounced back, and he had a completion on the next drive. And our O-line did a decent job. They were blitzing a little bit. So it's tough to pick those up when you've never played varsity football.
Absolutely. So, again, Coach, congratulations. You got LVC next week coming up. And then you go on the road. I believe it's Rushville week 3, and then you got Stark County week 4. Yep. So keep it going, get back to work on the practice field this week, and we'll see you next Friday against LVC.
Yeah, thanks for the coverage. Appreciate
You
it.
bet. You got it. That's going to do it here tonight for us, folks. Final score again, Macomb 42, Knoxville 14. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Check in next Friday. Macomb's right back here taking on LVC. Have a good night, everyone.